The sun, the giver of life and warmth, the eternal fire burning at the heart of our solar system, the bane of ginger people everywhere. Every single day of our lives, it rises and sets with perfect regularity. It was here long before any of us existed, and it'll be around long after the very memory of us has crumbled into dust. But ask yourself this question: what would happen if all of that was to change? What if the sun began to falter and fail, and needed human intervention to stave off a global catastrophe? That's the question at the heart of Solar Crisis, a 1990 direct-to-video classic starring Tim Matheson and Charlton Heston. Nah, I'm just messing with you. Although, if you do want to grab yourself a delicious slice of early 90s low-budget sci-fi nostalgia, then I can heartily recommend it. Anyway, the subject of today's video is Sunshine, the 2007 sci-fi drama slash horror slash psychological thriller directed by Danny Boyle about the crew of a spaceship dispatched on a desperate mission to deliver a massive nuclear bomb into the core of our dying sun, in the hopes of reigniting it and saving the entire human race from extinction. No pressure then. The movie was generally met with positive reviews at the time, but it failed to catch on with audiences and ultimately became a box office bomb. And that's a shame really, because despite a slightly disappointing third act that devolves into slasher flick territory, it's generally a thoughtful, compelling and visually spectacular sci-fi movie that grapples with some pretty deep themes and ideas. And because I'm all about giving forgotten movies a second chance, grab your sunglasses and factor 5000 and let's delve into this thing. The film's set in the mid-21st century and all is not well on planet Earth. The sun's output is rapidly decreasing, plunging the entire world into a global ice age, and if something isn't done to fix it pretty fast, the entire human race is gonna go extinct. The solution is the Icarus program, a spaceship that can deliver a giant nuclear fission device into the heart of the sun, jump-starting the reaction and saving the entire world. The first ship to attempt the mission mysteriously disappeared 7 years earlier, and it's presumed lost, and now there's only enough resources for one more try. So this is where we pick up with the crew of the Icarus II, now 6 months into their mission and getting ready to make their final approach to the sun. But just as they're passing by the planet Mercury, they receive a distress signal from the Icarus I. I say, old boy, whatever could be afoot here? Anyway, reasoning that 2 bombs are probably better than 1, they change course to intercept their sister ship. Unfortunately, stuff goes wrong and the heat shield keeping them all alive gets damaged, forcing one of the crew to sacrifice himself to repair it. They also lose their oxygen garden, which doesn't exactly do any favours for their chances of success. So their only option now is to board Icarus I and see if they can find the resources they need to carry on. Unfortunately, things only get worse when they dock with the Icarus and uncover the fate of the former crew. Not only is the ship totally inoperable now, but a series of technical mishaps forces them to evacuate in a hurry. But was it just bad luck, or was it sabotage? As time runs out and the ship gets closer to its objective, the remaining crew get whittled down by a deranged killer determined to stop them at any cost. Will they manage to complete their mission and save the world, or will they end up like their predecessors? I said before that Sunshine was a box office flop when it came out back in 2007, and thinking about how it's shot and paced and structured, the grand ideas that it tries to grapple with, it's easy to see why general audiences didn't quite know what to make of it. I mean, the premise lends itself perfectly to a conventional, fast-paced sci-fi action movie, with lots of stuff exploding and people running around trying to deal with emergencies and conspiracies erupting amongst the crew. And despite the fact that all of this stuff is actually in it, that's definitely not what this film's trying to be at all. What it really is a thoughtful, introspective kind of movie that asks deep questions about mankind's place in the universe, the crushing loneliness and isolation of extended space travel, the enormous psychological stress of such a mission on the crew, and even the search for religious meaning and divine purpose in a world of cold, calculating science. All throughout the film, you're constantly reminded of the awesome power of the cosmos, the terrifying destructive force of the sun, and the insignificance of a single human being in comparison. This isn't like Star Trek, where comfortable Earth-like planets wait around every corner, or Star Wars, where spaceflight is treated like some jaunty adventure. This is humanity coming face to face with the terrifying reality that we're microscopically insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Visually, it's an absolutely gorgeous movie with captivating and haunting shots that really hammer home the beauty and terror of what the crew are up against. I mean, who else would take a simple event like the crew passing by a rocky, uninhabited planet and make it into an epic moment of wonder and spectacle? Nothing explodes, nobody's screaming at each other, they're all just taking a quiet moment to appreciate the raw beauty of the scene before them. Director Danny Boyle took a lot of his inspiration from films like 2001, Solaris, and Alien, and let's be honest, you can definitely see the influences in everything from the set design to the long tracking shots to the dark and somber emotional tone. Performances are absolutely top notch across the board, the international cast all do brilliant work in their respective roles, everyone's playing it dead serious and for the most part acting like real adult humans. Imagine that in 2023. So I have to admit, it's a bit disappointing that the movie's third act devolves into a kind of generic slasher story as one of their predecessors stalks and murders the crew through the dark corridors of the Icarus II. It all feels a little bit cheap and predictable, undercutting what was until this point a solid and thoughtful movie, particularly when you find out the motivations of the antagonist. He just went a bit mad from all the sunshine, I guess. Minor criticisms aside though, Sunshine is the kind of serious, reflective science fiction movie that we really don't get anymore in an age of dumbed down blockbusters and endless superhero bullshit. It's a film that grapples with grand philosophical questions, made by a director with an eye for haunting, epic visuals and complex human psychology, and it leaves an impression that stays with you long after the credits have rolled. And if you somehow missed it back in 2007, well, I can definitely recommend that you give it a go now. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.